Matt from Total Drummer here, and we're looking at 21 essential items for your stick bag. These are the things that you need in that bag, no matter where you're going to play drums, gig, rehearsal, whatever. These are the items that are going to get you out of trouble, save the day, and make sure you can keep doing your job and looking like a pro. Alright guys, before we start the list, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay on top of all the new stuff that's going to come out to help you be an awesome drummer. Right, now obviously you need a stick bag to put all this stuff we're going to talk about in. I carry this beast around with me half the time. It's huge, it's got all these pockets on the inside and the outside. That lets me carry stuff, but it is pretty heavy. So, you know, sometimes you might want something a bit leaner that you can just hang on the side of your floor tom and does the trick. So choose your stick bag, think about what you're going to be needing, what kind of stuff you're going to be doing. But let's get into the list. Now it's called a stick bag, so obviously you need some sticks in that stick bag. But I wouldn't just have one pair, because you're going to drop sticks somewhere, you're going to break sticks. So have a few pairs of your favourite stick type. Now I use 5B for quite a lot of stuff, and they're pretty heavy, so I like to have a lighter stick as well. So if I find myself needing a lighter sound, I'm playing some jazz or something, I've got another option. So a couple of different types of sticks, and have spares in case you drop them or break them, and you're good. Alright, so as well as sticks, you're going to need brushes at some point. Now obviously, if you're turning up to a Slipknot gig, you probably won't need your brushes. But if you're quite a diverse player and you do a lot of different stuff, you're going to need them at some point. I use them a lot for recording as much as anything, and this is not just jazz. Sometimes you need that type of sound. So always brushes in the stick bag. Now as well as brushes, a good alternative sound is, these are hot rods, but you know, there are different types of these dowel sticks, lots of small bits of wood bound together. So these give you a lighter sound to your normal sticks, but it's also a different sound. So sometimes, again, it's often in recording I use these, but sometimes live, you'll need a different sound. So it's more about the timbre than the actual volume. But as well, sometimes people will need you to play a bit softer. You're in a certain venue, it needs a softer sound. These are going to help you out. Alright, and finally, soft mallets. Now these can create some really cool sounds on the toms or the snare if you turn the snare wires off. These can sound great, but I use them most on cymbals to create that really nice wash sound. Alright guys, this is obvious, but you need a drum key wherever you go in your life. You know, you never know when you're going to need to tune a drum, so always have one. I've always got at least one on me, even when I'm asleep. Alright, I know some people don't like to put stuff on their drums, and I get it. I like to avoid it when I can, but sometimes you need to do it. So, you know, it might be a certain room, or it might be a certain sound you're trying to achieve in the studio, or other instruments in the room that are resonating on your drums. So you're going to need it. You can go old school and have a wallet or a fag packet on your snare. You might want to put gaffer tape on your drums, or you can buy something purpose made like Moon Gel. Just whatever's your preference, make sure you've always got it to hand. You might not think snare wires are essential, but I've been in a situation where my snares have got damaged in transit, and without them you're pretty screwed, right? Because your snare drum isn't a snare without those, it's just another tom-tom really. So these are really important. Luckily I had a spare set of snare wires in my stick bag and I put them on, and since then I just don't like to go out without them. And you might even, if you don't want to go that far, you might just have some string so that if they become unattached and that breaks, you can reattach them. You know, because if one or two come loose, you can cut them out of the way and get through the gig. So you might feel comfortable just with that, but I would definitely recommend thinking about that. Dudes, I know this isn't cool, it's not very rock and roll, but your hearing is so important. If you can't hear, it does affect your enjoyment of music. It makes it a lot harder to be a drummer. So I always carry just like a little cheap pair like this, just so I can stuff them in my ear if I need to. And I've also got my custom molded in-ear monitoring system. But I don't care, it could be toilet roll, but make sure you've got something to put in your ears to protect them, because once your hearing's gone, it's gone. You can read or write music. Manuscript paper in your stick bag is going to seriously help you out. You know, you might be in a show and stuff's changing, you might be writing in your band in a rehearsal and you could write down your new beats. It might be song structures, it might be set lists. Have this on you at all times and it's going to sort you out. If you can't read or write music, have it anyway, because you're going to look like you can read music. Right, so manuscript paper's no good without something to write on it. Ideally, you're going to have a flamingo pen just because it looks cool. But also, a pencil can be really handy, so I always have a pencil on me and a rubber, because you know, if you're using a show pad that isn't yours and it's got to go back, you can't use pen, you can't leave permanent markings on it. So a pencil means you can work lightly, rub it out, and no one's going to hate you. Okay, so we all know how important a metronome is. Now I'm old school. I nicked my brother's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pencil case when he was a kid. Don't tell him. And I've got an old school digital metronome. But really, you know, you can access them with the free apps on phones and things. So however you want to go, make sure you've always got a metronome on you. This might not seem like an obvious one, but if you drop something on stage, I don't know why, but the floor is always the same colour as the thing you dropped. You know, you drop that washer off your cymbal stand, it's always a silver floor, you can't find it. But it might be that you need to reattach the bass drum pedal as well. And it's always dark at a gig, you know, you need a torch so you're not scrabbling around in the dark. Now, of course, you can have a little keyring one or a pocket one in your stick bag, or you might want to use the one on your phone, which is also, that's perfectly cool. But whatever you want to use, make sure you've always got a torch. We already talked about the tuning key, but I like the multi-tool because it's got a tuning key on it. It's also got screwdrivers, both flathead and Phillips, and you've got the Allen key. So whatever it is on your kit or around your kit that needs tightening or loosening or changing around, whatever, you've got the tool to do it. Not only that, it's got a bottle opener on it, so you're sorted. I've needed a spare hi-hat clutch quite a few times in my life. It might be a rehearsal room where they provide a kit, but the hi-hat clutch is missing, or a kit share for a gig, or, you know, whatever. These are really important. They're not big, they're not expensive, they're not heavy. Have one with you and you won't be in trouble. Now, I'm not saying carry a whole load of bananas all the time in your stick bag, because they will go mouldy, I know that. But look, I think nutrition for a gig or a rehearsal is as important as the drum gear. You know, if you haven't got energy, you can't play, you can't focus, you're not going to be good. So take whatever it is, energy bars, bananas, whatever you need to stay fueled, to stay energized, put it in your stick bag, make sure you've got it all the time and you won't get hungry. You can't handle life without your smartphone, you know it. You don't like to admit it, maybe you do, but we all need them. And we've talked about, you know, the metronome, maybe the torch, maybe you've got your set list on your phone or your notes about what you're going to play. So if that phone goes dead, you're in trouble. Make sure you've got a charger all the time. Cymbal felts are another one. They're so light, they're tiny. Make sure you've got them. And again, this is like your rehearsal room scenario or a kit share, or maybe it's your kit and they've fallen off and you get to the gig. You don't want to put your beautiful, expensive, shiny cymbals on a metal stand that hasn't got protection. Just carry a few with you. And the same goes for cymbal sleeves. It's a little bit of plastic that goes between the cymbal and the metal cymbal stand. This is just going to save your expensive cymbals. Once again, washers, they break, you know, you've got them on all the lugs on your drums, you've got them all over the place. Just carry a few. They're tiny, they're really, really cheap. They're going to save you out when they do break. If you've got nylon ones, they break, or metal ones go missing, carry some washers. And just as before, you know, if you're at a rehearsal room, kit share, whatever, have some wing nuts. I mean, I love these pearl ones because they undo and do up really, really easily. But just a couple of the old school windy up ones, they're good. They're going to sort you out. Wherever you go, don't forget your strap-on practice pad. Now, strap-on practice pad, I like this because you can warm up. This is an old Winston one, but a few of the guys make them. You don't need a table, you don't need a cymbal stand to twist it onto. Wherever you are, you just need a leg, and hopefully you've got your legs at all the gigs. So, you know, you just slap it on your leg, and you can warm up. You need a pair of sticks, and your strap-on practice pad, and you are good to go. Right guys, so those are 21 essential items, I believe, and I carry those wherever I go, even swimming. Never be caught out without this stuff. Now, if this was useful, subscribe, because there's going to be loads more cool stuff, whether it's learning new drum beats, learning how to maintain your drums. It's all coming, so subscribe now and stay in touch.